Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, Stephen. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Kyle. Jeff,
No,
who
I'm
used to
having
be there but left.
difficulties.
There he is. Hiya, Jeff.
I was going to say brief appearance, then he's back.
Well, I'm having trouble here. It's
Yeah, the one thing we don't have is Village Hall.
I was on and somebody kicked me out, so I don't know what that was all about.
Says Zoom is giving us issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the chat message.
Yep.
All we have is the Headless Horseman instead of the room. Uh-oh, may have to warm up the car and make a trip.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Put some,
I'm way
put some
too
real
comfortable.
pants back on and then get down there.
Yeah. Why can't I get my? I can't get it in my headphones.
That's a good thing we don't have to stand up.
My headphones are working.
Yeah,
Joe,
mine aren't working. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, Joe.
Okay. Where's the setting for where to? Used to be a setting here for use same speakers and mic as computer. Oh, there we go. Problem occurred between keyboard and mouse, or keyboard and chair. There we go. Can you hear me okay?
All right. Yeah, but none of us can participate in the meeting.
Should I tell John we can't hear or see him? What time is it?
It's 7:30.
Yeah, it's time.
Please leave your message for John Florence.
Hey, Anthony. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we can't see you guys or hear anything, so. All right, sounds good. Thanks. Anthony just called me. They can hear us. John's working on the problem. This should be a couple minutes.
Okay, thanks. And we lost Mark. I was having fun chatting with him.
I'm here.
Okay.
I just turned off the video for a moment and the audio. Figured I'd wait it out.
Yeah, they just said it'd be a couple minutes.
So I went out golfing yesterday. The downwind holes were really fun. The holes into the wind were not so much fun. So.
Not so much. Huh?
I golfed yesterday as well. I had that same problem, Joe.
Yeah. Where'd you golf at?
We just went over to Bonnie Dundee.
Ah, I love Bonnie Dundee. It's just, it's cheap. It's nice. It's just fun.
Oh yeah. Played later in the day. We teed off like at 3:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we teed off at noon, so it was Yeah, the one guy the kid that went, I shouldn't say, the one gentleman with us who was, in his 20s.
I lost my audio.
There they are.
Behind him.
I'm jealous of you guys out playing golf.
You want to join us?
I do, but my schedule's just been horrible lately.
Hello.
Hello.
In terms of getting out.
Hello.
Hey, there's a picture.
Yeah.
There's the room.
Is there anybody in the room?
I hear you, Mr. President.
Good, then we're started.
Okay.
We're getting there slowly but surely.
and to Steve and Mark both, I never object to like a quick 9 holes on a nice day just to, get out there. So it doesn't take up the whole afternoon. So if you ever want to get some exercise, Steve, give me a buzz.
Keep you in mind.
I've played golf with him. It's not that quick.
Uh-oh, the story's out.
Well, there's a lot of swing. There are a lot of swings, so every swing takes time.
Sorry, Joe. I
Tony, you're
couldn't-
not talking about the snowstorm
I
golfing event,
couldn't
are you?
resist.
Is the meeting called to order?
No, it's not. We've got a technical issue down here.
All right.
I can't hear you. See,
Okay.
Can I hear you okay?
Gentlemen, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Yatley, Mr. Schuster, Mr. Nemec, Mr. Steele, Mr. Killinger, you are muted. Can you hear us?
Yes.
We got a thumbs up from Jeff. We got a verbal okay from a thumbs up from Mr. Schuster. Mr. Nemec,
Give you a thumbs up.
I didn't see it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have once again gathered here this evening for the Board of Trustees meeting. And according to the governor's proclamation of the pandemic, we are continuing to do in-person or remote. This evening, remote, we have trustees Diatley and Nemec, along with the village attorney, Mr. Schuster, the village engineer, Mr. Steele, and the public works director, Mr. Killinger. In-house this evening, we have Mr. Merkel, Mr. Harney, Mr. Perino, myself, and Mr. Mills, the clerk. And there are a couple of members in the audience this evening with us. So that being said, you can hear us, we can hear you. Let us start this meeting and have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the
United States of America,
To
to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
One nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Diatley,
Here.
Mr. Perino,
Here.
Mr. Nemec. Mr. Nemec.
Joe.
You're on mute.
There he is.
Joe, you're on mute.
Now he's
Yeah,
not on.
Okay, Steve said I was too loud last time, so I turned my mic down. How's that?
That's
So
fine.
I'm calling the roll. Mr. Nemec,
Here.
thank you. Mr. Zamba. Mr. Harney. Here. Ms.
Okay.
Merkel.
1, 2,
It was out of
3, 4.
sequence. I was-
Five of the trustees are here. We have a quorum. We have a meeting. Next item on the minutes, on the agenda is the minutes. Do we have a motion to so approve?
Move to approve the revised village board meeting minutes of April 19, 2021. Second.
Moved by Merkel, seconded by Harney to approve the minutes of March or of April 19th, 2021. Any corrections? There being none, roll call, please.
Mr. Datley,
Aye.
Mr. Perino,
Aye.
Mr. Nemec,
Aye.
Merkel.
Aye.
Mr. Harney.
5 affirmative votes, no negative votes. The motion so passes. Next item is the president's report. All I can say, guys, is it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll be back later. This term ends, new term will begin. Clerk's report.
I have no reports on that.
Thank you, clerk. Planning and zoning, no report. Attorney, Mr. Schuster, anything?
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Engineer, Mr. Steele,
No report.
thank you.
Okay, but a question for Jeff, if I could.
For whom?
I'm not gonna be around for it, but when we do Sleepy Hollow Road, Jeff, maybe there's a solution, but near my home on Thoroughbred, the shoulder is breaking down, and then the new flat topping that we did by Sabatino Park, it's 6 inches are breaking down. Is there a way to ensure that doesn't happen with Sleepy Hollow Road? I know we must have kind of soft edges there, but
Yeah, it's basically the cause of that is, like you mentioned, is just the soft edges, and also, especially along Thoroughbred, is there isn't actually a good base out there. However, luckily along Sleepy Hollow Road is we actually do have a better base, and also those shoulders, there's going to be aggregate shoulders along the edge, and it's actually going to be better contained just based off of the elevations along Sleepy Hollow Road. Is it'll actually be a little bit more compacted inside of there than what it was before. So,
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Steele. Finance Director's report, which is the warrants for May 3rd, 2021.
I move that we approve the warrants of May 3rd, 2021, in the amount of $75,774.14.
Second.
Moved by Morano, seconded by Merkel to approve the warrants of May 3rd, 2021 of $75,774.14. Any additions, deletions, comments, or questions? There being none, roll call, please.
Mr. Dattley,
Aye.
Moreno,
Aye.
Mr. Nimitz,
Aye.
Mr. Zimba,
Aye.
Mr. Merkel,
Aye.
Mr. Harney.
Aye.
So we got 6 affirmative votes, no negative votes, the motion so passes. Okay, next item is comments from the public. Anyone from the public wishes to make a comment? We do have one that we have received that they would like to be read into the minutes from CM Parker. Would like his comment read for him during the meeting. Quote, "Hi all, we're planning to present a proof of the summer newsletter for approval at the next meeting, May 17th. Please add to the agenda. Also, please submit your submissions to the newsletter sooner rather than later for inclusion. We have already been informed that we most likely won't be printing a summer issue. If that is to change, I would need at least a week's notice. I'd be willing to do porch delivery to all homes to save on postage cost if you all opt to print. CMP." So I guess my quick question is to Mr. Florence, as a representative of the Service Club, are you guys wanting to mail out the agenda for the 4th of July this year?
Maybe. We're still on the fence.
Okay, Mr. Parker would like at least a week's more notice if we do go to print.
Okay.
So,
Are you still doing, sorry to piggyback on that, are you still doing the water report?
I talked to Lynn.
No.
report, I believe, Mr. Nemick, we found out last year, we can publish that on the website now. We no longer have to mail it.
I'll follow up with.
Okay. All right, fair enough. That's it. Okay, no other public comments. We move on to the trustee reports. Roads and Parks, Mr. Harney.
Just a quick reminder, we're still looking for part-time people to cut the grass in the parks. It's important to find someone too that frees up time and go if there's nothing important
What happened to Mr. Killinger?
I can only hear you, Mr. President. I can't hear anybody else.
Okay, there was
It's
a
very, very-
question. Okay, well, I looked up and you were replaced by an agenda. The question was, part-time public works employee, salary is what, 10.35 an hour?
I think it's at 11 something, like 11:05 or something like that.
Okay. Is
I'd
that
have
it?
to check the salaries.
Okay, that helps. Thank you, sir.
That's all.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harney. Finance.
I don't have any report, but I would like to say that if you guys get me the report out of relatively, it's the history. I would like to put together a trend of the P and L for you guys as my going away present.
You want the
The
relativity?
relativity income, it goes back to the late 90s, and I was gonna just lay out a trend of you guys can have everything to see where it's been over the years
Okay.
for the documentation.
Brian will be in tomorrow. I'll talk to him about getting that together for you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Don. Water and sewer, Mr. Nemec.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Police and public safety, Mr. Diatley.
No report.
Sir. Public buildings and environment, Mr. Merkel.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Building and zoning, Mr. Moreno.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we've got one item of old business that's left for this board to consider, and that is the letter of engagement with Mueller and Company, the company we approved last meeting to be our auditors for the next 3 years with 2 years option on that. They have sent their letter of engagement to us, and it is in your packets. If we could have a motion to so approve, I'd appreciate it.
I move that we approve the letter of engagement from Mueller and Company LLP to be our annual auditors, financial annual auditors.
Second, Harney.
Moved by Ziemba, seconded by Harney to approve the letter of engagement with Mueller and Company, engaging them as our village auditors for the next 3 years. Any further comment, questions, or discussion? There being none, roll call, please.
Excuse me. Mr. Harney.
Aye.
Mr. Merkel.
Aye.
Mr. Zimba.
Aye.
Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
Mr. Moreno.
Aye.
Mr. Diatley.
Aye.
Motion passes.
6 affirmative votes, no negative votes, the motion so passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Is there any other old business to come before this board? There being no other old business, we move to new business. Is there any new business to come before this board? If not, we have a motion to adjourn, sign, die.
So moved, Diatley.
Moved by Ziemba, seconded by Diatley to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Mr. Zimba.
Aye.
Mr. Diatley.
Aye.
Mr. Moreno.
Aye.
Mr. Harney.
Aye.
Mr. Merkel. Aye. Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
6 affirmative votes, no negative votes. The motion so passes. We are adjourned. And please stand by. We will reconvene with the new board in a couple of minutes after we say thank you and goodbye to Mr. Merkel and Mr. Ziemba and thank them for their service on behalf of the residents of the village of Sleepy Hollow. Gentlemen,
Thank you to you all, and good luck to you, and God bless you.
thank you,
Thank you.
Tom.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Do you want to stick around here?
Thank you.
Hey, see you later, Tom.
Take care, Tom. Thanks a lot.
See you. Wiggins.
Okay. That concludes one of the meetings this evening. Now we're about to begin the second one. This one, I just want to give you guys a rundown here real quick. This is the beginning of a new board, and of course, with that beginning, there is a period where I make my appointments and assignments. That is done under my report. However, prior to getting to that position, I'd like to call for an executive session to have the board review one of my appointments personally before they have to vote as to whether or not to accept my appointment. So when we get to that point, I'm going to call for an amendment to the agenda and move executive session up to that spot just between the minutes and the president's report. When we go into that executive session, I said, we'll do, as I said, I want you to meet an individual and have a chance to talk to them. We've also got another situation with the budget and salaries that I want to talk to you about. Once those are done, we will then come back to the regular meeting. So that means those people on YouTube are going to see the screen go blank. I'm going to ask Mr. Steele and Mr. Killinger to disconnect from Zoom for the executive session. We will come back. I don't think it'll be much over 20 or 30 minutes. We will send we'll send all you guys a text when we start coming up. What it looks like Mr. Florence has said is he's going to need 5 minutes to set up the executive session and then about 5 minutes to knock it down. So during that 5 minutes it takes him to get back up, we will send out the text so you guys can rejoin us for the rest of the meeting.
Same meeting ID.
It's be the same meeting ID. I'm getting a thumbs up from the AV guy.
Okay. See you later.
Okay, well, we're not done yet.
Oh,
I haven't gone
okay.
into executive session yet. I'm just telling you what we're going to do.
Practice.
Practice, yes. So, okay,
I'll call this one.
we can call this meeting to order. It's going to operate the same as the old one just did. According to the governor's proclamation of the pandemic, we are allowed to meet remote or in person. We are attending this evening with the village engineer and village attorney is remote. Public Works Director is remote. Trustee Diatley and Trustee Nemick are remote. Harney, Moreno, myself, Miller, Anthony Miller, Tony Miller, the clerk, is with us, along with Mr. Ziemba, who will be staying with us until his appointment is made and to replace him. So other than that, you all can still hear me. We can still hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then start this meeting off. We've got the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation,
One nation,
under God,
under God,
and liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Davin,
Aye, here.
Moreno,
Here.
Mr. Nimitz,
Here.
Mr. Harney,
Here.
Mr. Zimba.
He's here.
He's here.
He's here.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a quorum. We've got a meeting. The first item on the agenda this evening is the oath of office for the newly elected trustees and village president. Mr. Mills, the floor is yours. You have a speaking role tonight.
With that in mind, I'd like Mr. Pickett, Mr. Harney, and Mr. Thorne to please rise, approach, and raise your right hand. We're going to do this all at once. So I will read this. When I say state your name, state your individual names, and then you will repeat after me for the rest of the oath. Does everybody understand? Thank you. I, state your name.
Stephen K. Pickett,
Having been duly elected for the position of
having been duly elected for the position of village president
and
Trustee.
trustee in the village of Sleepy Hollow, King County, Illinois,
in the village of Sleepy Hollow, King County, Illinois,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the village of Sleepy Hollow,
and the ordinances of the village of Sleepy Hollow.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of,
I will faithfully discharge the duties of village president
Trustee,
to the best
to
of
the
my
best of
ability.
my ability.
best of my ability.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to Sleepy Hollow Board. And for those of you repeat offenders, thank you for coming.
Okay, Mr. Thorne, to pick a seat.
All right, so I can sit next to that.
No, you don't have to. but- Where'd Mr. Ziemba disappear?
You can have this seat if you'd like,
Oh, okay.
right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let Don get back and then I'm going to ask that we amend the agenda.
who?
The agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to.
Oh, there's a, okay. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's more pen.
I'm going to go ahead and ask for an amendment to the agenda to move executive session from its place at 14D to the present. Do I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion to amend the agenda to move the executive session to the current time slot has been made by trustee Harney, seconded by Moreno. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dattley,
Aye.
Mr. Brano,
Aye.
Mr. Nimitz,
Aye.
Mr. Harney.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
We have 5 affirmative votes, no negative votes. We are adjourned into executive session for the next few minutes. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you shortly.
Oops, Mr. President,
Yes,
you've amended the agenda. Now you need a motion to go into executive session under section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act and
There we
vote on that.
okay. Thank you for catching that. We need a motion to adjourn into executive session according to executive session rules
2C1.
1 and okay, that's it. Okay, 2C1.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So moved, Nemec.
Second, Diatley.
Moved by Nemec, seconded by Diatley to move into executive session 2C1. Well, there's no comments or discussion on that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dattley,
Aye.
Brano,
Aye.
Mr. Nimitz,
Aye.
Mr. Harney,
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
We've got 5 affirmative votes, no negative votes. We are in executive session. Okay, we'll give us